broadcast to internet television. Quote, Reed Hastings, founder of Netflix. Welcome to the Pixel Pop Movie Podcast. I'm your host this fortnight, Toby. With me this fortnight, I'm joined by the stream directly into your living room, Ethan.
Oh, that's me, all the way.
And the mailed to you on DVD and you have to return it within a week, Lucas.
Ha, because he's old.
Wow. I'm not even the oldest one here. This is bullshit.
Oh man, I'm on a cassette tape. You have to walk down to the video library to get a hold of me.
Was it Polyphone? I'm probably fucking that. I can't even
hey, now I'm a bit more trendy than that. Can I at least be a Laserdisc? At least I'm kind of collectible. So our topic of conversation this fortnight is going to be streaming services. Obviously, we're at a turn point now where we've moved from sort of one dominant streaming service, and we're now at the dawn of a number of them. So we're going to have a look at what's come before, what's happening right now, and perhaps where we think we're going in the future. But before we get into that conversation, we've got a fair bit of news and trailers to get through. So let's start with that. Please take us away, Ethan.
First bit of news we have is the Batman director, Matt Reeves, has confirmed that Andy Serkis has been cast as Alfred Pennyworth in the upcoming Batman movie. Alongside this, Colin Farrell is in talks to play the Penguin.
Interesting.
Yeah, I'm really... I didn't know how I'd feel about it at first, but then the more I thought about it, I'm like, Andy Serkis could be a really dope Alfred.
Yeah.
Like,
absolutely.
He throws himself into everything, and like, Alfred's such an iconic character just by himself that I feel like Andy Serkis could really kind of throw his twist on it and make it, like, totally make it his own, considering how many recent versions of Alfred we've got with, like, Gotham and like the rebooted DC universe that we've just had, and the new Pennyworth TV show that's coming out, and yeah, it could be cool.
Alright, now we have the Dune movie, which is coming out next year, I think. A sequel is already in the plans, and John Spates, who was the showrunner of HBO Max's Dune, The Sisterhood, has left that show to work on the screenplay for the second Dune movie.
Yeah, this makes sense because while I do recall hearing that Denis Villeneuve decided that the Dune movie he was making currently is only going to be really the first half of the book, and he's sort of turning it into a two-movie project. That makes perfect sense, because if you've watched the Lynch film from back when, you probably haven't, but if you have, it is quite rushed when compared to the book. It hits the important beats, but there's a lot there. And because the book is so deep, it's sort of like turning Lord of the Rings into one film. You could probably do it, but you would miss so much. And that's kind of where you're at with Dune. So it's good that they're turning this into, a proper two-film job.
Now we've got a Lovecraft trilogy. It's apparently in the works at Spectravision, who is Elijah Wood's production company, I think. Yeah.
This is interesting, considering, Lovecraft's stuff has always been a bit of a I don't want to say there's
hard to adapt.
Yeah, it's very hard to adapt because one, it's primarily psychological, which doesn't translate well to screen, but two, a lot of his stuff is, if you really go back and read Lovecraft's original stuff, it's very outdated. The idea that there is no God to a North American in 1920 who was a good God-fearing Christian is terrifying. To somebody in like say Australia in 2019, that's not particularly frightening. So it is difficult, but a lot of the time with Lovecraft stuff, yeah, it is psychological, and it's a question of, am I going mad, and how do you put that on the screen? And it works in written form, but it's going to be difficult. But I'm keen, as a Lovecraft fan, I'm keen to see what they can do. So fingers crossed.
So they have Color Out of the Space, which comes out next year, early next year, and then Dunwich Horror is the next one they wanted. Yeah, and Dunwich Horror is the next one they want to adapt.
Yeah, that's going to be, I think, probably the better of the two, in just terms of it's a better story, and it's probably easier to adapt and make a film that's going to still be scary for a modern audience.
Well, moving on to the trailers, we have a trailer for Color Out of Space.
Yeah. It didn't steal me the great deal of confidence, but I showed a few Lovecraft fans, and they're optimistic. So, wait and see.
I know nothing about it, but it looks interesting.
Yeah, I guess we'll wait and see.
Next, we have a Bad Boys for Life. They've got a second trailer. and that's releasing in January.
Yes.
I don't know who's interested in it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm not sure I'll see it at cinema, but I'll definitely watch it at some point.
I'm definitely seeing this at the cinema. Bad Boys 2 is probably one of my favorite movies ever made. It just there's something in the chemistry between Will Smith and Martin Lawrence that just is gold.
Next, we have the trailer for The Invisible Man, and I am insanely excited for this one.
This looks
So ridiculously amount.
crazy. Remember this whole Mummyverse thing that they were going to do that's now gone to shit?
Mm-hmm.
The Dark Universe.
So basically, they like took the bones of that script and made a new film where they've kind of turned the Invisible Man into like a psychopath. So instead of like him, like in the original stories, how he just turns himself invisible. He's not very mentally well and uses the invisibility to do bad things.
Well, following on from that, we have Scoob, a new animated Scooby-Doo movie.
Bro, this looks sick. Like,
No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't.
I was not. So when we talked about this previously, based around the cast that was announced and what they were going to do, I was like, this is going to be garbage. And then I saw the trailer and I was 100% sold. Because the heart and soul of Scooby-Doo is the relationship between Scooby and Shaggy.
I think it's just I don't like how Scooby sounds, and that just puts me off. I don't like his voice.
I never even liked the original cartoon from the fucking 80s or whatever, so pass.
I've never seen them minus the two live-action movies.
Yeah, pass.
Yeah, he does sound more like the cartoon Scooby.
Yeah.
But he also does sound as close as he can to that Scooby without it being the actor.
Well, it is Frank Welker. He's always voiced Scooby. It's the same one.
I didn't think Welker was coming back.
Yeah, he is.
Oh shit! Okay. Well, yeah. No, he does sound very different. Like, but he sounds different. But he sounds very what I said before. Like, he sounds different, but he sounds enough more like the old school cartoon. Yeah.
Next, we have a trailer for Fantasy Island.
Yeah.
Again, going down the psychological thriller route.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. When I first clicked it, I thought it was going to be some campy comedy thing, and then you kept watching, and what the fuck is this? It just turned real sharp.
Yeah, and as well, like I need to pull it up again, but the even the cast for it, man, like you got Lucy Hale, Michael Pena, Jimmy O Yang from Silicon Valley, like. These are all people that, like, Lucy Hale, kind of not really, but, like, there's a lot of people in this movie that are kind of known for doing more comedy stuff.
Well, I also think Michael Rooker is in it, because he keeps sharing stuff on his Instagram about the movie.
Michael Rooker is in it.
Okay, yeah.
Kim Coates as well, from Sons of Anarchy. Yep, Ryan Hansen from Veronica Mars is in it.
It doesn't look as gruesome, but I really got a kind of Hostel kind of feel from it.
Yeah, it doesn't.
You know what I mean? Like trapped in a location and people are getting fucked up.
Yeah, I don't think it'll have the gore element that Hostel did.
No, I don't think it will either. But it's the same sort of vibe I'm getting.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. It does look sick though.
Yeah, interesting, certainly.
And then speaking of trailers that look amazing.
They fixed him.
No, the thing is, Sonic looks good. I don't know about the movie. That's the only thing.
It's crazy what a bit of editing can do.
Yeah.
Like the first trailer, and I don't know if the first trailer we were caught off by the fact that Sonic looked as bad as he did, to whether or not it looked like a good movie or not. But like with the new design, like
you can tell
it's
it's
almost
not going
like
to be a good movie.
No, I think it's gonna be a good movie.
I don't think it will be.
If we're to base it off this trailer, which is what I'm going to do,
yeah,
I think it's going to be a good movie.
I think it's going to be a good summer movie per se. You know what I mean? Like it's going to be a decent popcorn movie.
It's not going to be Citizen.
I'm not expecting an Oscar winner or anything. Yeah, it's not going to be an Oscar winner. But I think it's going to be fun. It's going to be just as fun if you went and saw a Pixar film. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's all wait and see, I think, but I think this could be very good, very fun.
Well, next year we're trying for The Way Back.
Yep, which is running. So this is Ben Affleck. He's a basketball coach, and from what you learn from the trailer, it looks like he lost his family and he's an alcoholic, and he's finding his way back to, life, I guess, and humanity. If you watch the trailer, if you're into dramas, it looks pretty good, actually.
And that's pretty crazy too. So I haven't actually watched this trailer yet. That's very much mirroring his public life.
I was just gonna say, did he go method for this, and is that what happened?
Yeah, possibly.
Next, we have a trailer for Six Underground, which is coming out 13th of December on Netflix. It stars Ryan Reynolds, directed by Michael Bay, and I'm just watching this trailer now, and this is the most Michael Bay thing you'll ever see.
It is very Michael Bay, but it has Reynolds. So, it looks okay. It sort of looks a little bit like Ocean's 11 meets Italian Job meets whatever have you. It's six mercs who are certified dead, and so they
go around the world and do bad things.
Well, they go around the world and get rid of bad people but without the laws inhibiting them per se. Yeah,
because they're not tied to a specific government. Essentially, they've been burnt by their own government, but they work on behalf of by the US government.
Yeah, so they're like, well, we don't exist, so let's normally we can't go and shoot these people, so let's just let's go do it. Let's make the world a better place. So
let's talk about the greatest film that's going to ever come out.
SpongeBob the movie, Sponge on the Run.
I do not understand this shit. My daughter watched the TV show, never laughed once, and I looked at it and went, none of this is the worst thing ever.
No, this movie is the greatest movie of all time because Keanu Reeves plays a fucking sage, and I am all for it.
Now, you children can go get in on your student passes and watch this shit.
Yeah, right, but you can stay there and be silent.
I will. I watch real movies.
Alright, next we have a little trailer for Servant, which is Apple TV's new TV show. Doesn't
show a lot, but it certainly got me interested.
No, it's from M. Night Shyamalan. If you've seen the movie The Boy, this has a very similar plot to it, it seems.
Right.
But no, this Servant looks very weird. Very, very weird. Next bit of news that's a bit surprising, and that is a new Paranormal Activity movie gets a spring 2021 release date from Blumhouse.
Garbage next.
Oh, fuck
it needs to... you look at the budget of the first film, it was like $10,000. And then every subsequent film, they threw millions of it, and they got worse and worse and worse. They need to go back to grassroots and really make it more,
I think Blumhouse would. I think Blumhouse would take it back to just make it look budget, but,
Yeah.
And I feel like it's going to be a farm movie. Like they'll farm some money off it, make it for really low, and because everyone's like, oh, new Paranormal Activity, better go watch this, they'll farm a lot from it.
Maybe, but we'll see. I hope it returns to form. I'll put it that way.
Yeah. Next we have Dan Aykroyd has confirmed the original cast are returning for the new Ghostbusters.
Yeah, there was a bit of speculation. Then he had Aykroyd was on a talk show or whatever. He was getting interviewed, and whether he meant to or not, he confirmed that all of the Ghostbuster cast that are alive are returning.
So would that also bring Sigourney? Would that also bring Sigourney Weaver?
Sigourney's confirmed.
Back.
What about Rick?
Not sure.
Moranis.
Yeah, I'm not sure about Rick. I would hope he comes back, but I don't. Is he even acting anymore?
No. So
I don't think he is. I think the lady who played the receptionist is back.
Long story short, his wife died, and then he went to go look after his kids, and that's I think.
Yeah.
Honey, I Shrunk the Kids was like one of the last movies he ever did.
It'd be nice to have him as a cameo.
It would be really nice. Like that dude has had a bit of a rough life lately. Like he seems happy and he seems content with where he is, and that's perfectly fine. But
it says Rick isn't back in it.
He's not.
Yeah.
No, but also Annie Potts, who's the secretary, she's in it as well.
Yeah, she's in it. Yep. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a shame.
All right, next we have the cast has assembled, and they're now filming the new Halo series for Showtime.
Yeah, no one cares.
It's been through a whole bunch of trouble, showrunners and all the rest of it, but it's finally started filming.
Yeah,
hopefully we'll get that next year.
I'm actually really excited for this to kick off. What I thought was really I still think it's super interesting. Well, not even interesting, but it's a very strange casting choice. Is Porn Stash for Master Chief?
Yeah, Pablo Schreiber.
Yeah, such a weird casting.
Well, he's also been big in American Gods on Amazon as well. He's in that.
Yeah,
that might have helped them.
He's actually really funny in that. So I just thought this was a really interesting casting choice. I kind of wanted Daniel Cudmore to come back.
Yeah, oh, because he was in that fucking Forward Unto Dawn, wasn't he?
Yeah, he played Master Chief in Forward Unto Dawn. So, and he was awesome. He was such a good Master Chief. So, yeah. Regardless, I think this will be cool.
Hot garbage.
Well, now the Community cast says please should do a movie if Dan Harmon returns to write it.
Yeah. So this was at a panel with the entire main cast of Community for the first couple of seasons, except obviously Chevy Chase and Donald Glover, who Childish Gambino. But I think it was Joel McHale, made a joke of like it would take.
Someone asked what it would take to produce a Community film.
Yeah, no, but then someone else said like including Donald, and they were like, yeah, we need to give Donald his own like everything.
Yeah,
he's such a superstar.
John McHale said $1 million for Donald Glover.
Yeah, something ridiculous like that. So, no, I really hope they close the chapter. They close the book on the final chapter, which for the longest time has been 6 seasons in a movie. I hope we get the movie, and I hope we get resolutions to arcs that have been long gestating. Let's hope it happens.
Next, we have Mark Wahlberg has joined the Tom Holland Uncharted movie in the role of Sully.
Marky Mark.
This is fucking terrible. Not gonna watch this fucking movie now.
This is really interesting.
Mark Wahlberg could just fucking fuck right off and go to his fucking restaurant. Fuckhead brother.
For those that know and have not heard this news, who is he playing?
Sully, I said.
Did you say Sully? I missed it.
Sully.
Yeah. Yeah. I think he'd be a funny Sully. Like.
Nah, get Bryan Cranston. That's all you need.
Nah, I still want.
Nah, Bryan Cranston.
No way. After the Nathan Fillion one, I still want Nathan Fillion and Stephen Lang.
Oh, still Lang ain't too bad.
Yeah, Stephen.
Not fucking Mark Wahlberg. Fucking.
No. Although in saying that though, like I think that Mark Wahlberg could play off Tom Holland really well.
They probably could.
They're like, I think they've gone for chemistry more than who suits the role.
Yeah.
And I feel like, obviously, with the wealth of experience Mark has in film and in action movies, and the fact that they also seem to be going with a young Nathan Drake.
You can get a younger Sully.
Yeah, obviously, you can't have Sully at 65 and then Nathan Drake at 20. Obviously, they had to age Sully down, but I think they probably were going for chemistry over who was best for the role. And I honestly think these two could be good together.
What's next? Oh, there's a cute bits where you go next.
Beverly Hills Cop 4. Netflix has taken the rights to make 4 Beverly Hills Cop.
Yeah,
where's Eddie Murphy returning to star? This is probably like the back end of that Dolomite Is My Name. They've probably
absolutely
had, a good run with him in that. So.
Yeah, so he was pretty much an Oscar-winning performance in that, and it's been a long time coming for Murphy to return to form. He's also got that sequel to Coming to America in the pipe works as well. But what's interesting with this too is Netflix aren't just buying a near-complete film or the rights to a film; they're funding this film.
Yeah, they're starting it from scratch.
This is new territory as far as I'm aware for Netflix.
Irishman was one of their first big one.
Yeah,
fair enough,
Irishman.
Fair enough. Still, it's interesting that they're moving into production in such a big way.
Yeah, well, that's kind of where they have to go now, and obviously with the conversation we're going to have later, Netflix definitely need to move into production. Otherwise, they'll get lost in the shuffle.
Yeah,
and they'll just be a streaming service. They won't be anything more. So,
and I'd be interested to see if this is going to do a round at the cinemas before hitting Netflix.
That seems to be the current MO for Netflix, especially with stuff that they want to get nominated.
Yes,
because
it seems to be that
they have a cinema run to get nominated for awards.
Yeah, exactly, because they're not even. Yes, yeah. No, I'm looking forward to this. 3 was absolute hot garbage. First 2 were fantastic. Hopefully, we've learnt from 3, and this is a return to 4 form. Super keen. Do it.
We have now Nicolas Cage may star as Nicolas Cage in the most Nicolas Cage movie ever.
Jesus Christ. What is this being, John Malkovich?
A new film in the name of The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent. A project stepped up by Lionsgate after a fierce bidding war with HBO Max and Paramount. The film is described as Cage if the deal closes, which stars the actor Nicolas Cage. The character is desperate to get a role in a new Quentin Tarantino movie while also dealing with a strained relationship with his teenage daughter. He also occasionally talks to an egotistical 1990s version of himself who rides him for making too many crappy movies for not being a star anymore.
What the fuck?
I'm all in.
Wow, this. I mean, You're gonna need to
Okay,
smoke
hold
a
on.
fucking bowl before you try and watch this shit.
The Cage character is also under a mountain of debt and finds himself forced to make an appearance at the birthday party of a Mexican billionaire who happens to be a phage of Cage's work and secretly hopes to show him a script on which he's been working on. While he bonds with the man, Cage is informed by the CIA that the billionaire is actually a drug cartel kingpin who's kidnapped the daughter of a Mexican presidential nominee and is recruited by the US government to get intelligence.
What the fuck?
The situation spirals even more dramatically when the Mexican brings over Cage's daughter and his ex-wife for a reconciliation. When their lives are on the line, Cage takes on the role of a lifetime.
Jesus Christ, that
Yeah.
sounds... It's either going to be fucking Stoner's Paradise and amazing, or it's just going to be fucking horrible.
Yeah. And some other big news. We have a release date for Black Adam.
Yes.
And that is 22nd of December 2021. The Rock announced it with a collaboration picture between comic book artist Jim Lee and Boss Logic, who does so many photoshops and stuff online. He is extremely big now. He's like gained popularity a lot over the past like year and a half. So this
Yeah.
is a big thing.
Boss Logic's art is so cool,
Yeah.
and this image of The Rock as Black Adam, like for a long time I kind of wasn't sold on the idea of it, but now I am, based on this image.
And to round up the news, Disney has set release dates for 5 as of yet untitled Marvel Cinematic Universe movies. October 7th, 2022, February 7th, 2023, May 5th, 2023, July 28th, 2023, and November 3rd, 2023. They're probably Ant-Man, Blade, maybe the Deadpool, Guardians, Captain Marvel.
Well, we know.
Black Panther 2.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure the February date was confirmed as Black Panther a while ago.
nothing's been confirmed yet at all for any of them.
No, hang on, wait. So hang on. So we're not going to get any movies between Thor. There's going to be another year gap.
Yeah. Because Thor's end of 2021, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like October, November 2021.
Between
So there's gonna be
the
another-
phases.
So there's going to be another year-long gap. And then we're
Yeah,
going to get...
but you're going to have a whole... I bet you any money you're going to have a bunch of shit on Disney+. Plus.
Probably, yeah.
I mean,
Because
for
they have-
sure, there's going to
They
be
have been
gap
on record
fillers.
saying that you're going to need to really watch the Disney Plus stuff because it's going to thread into the cinematic stuff.
So
no
like,
doubt you'll probably get like Ms. Marvel and like Moon Knight and stuff, and
Yeah.
She-Hulk will probably come out in that year long gap.
I was about to say, like, what's the bet that stuff will kind of be the filler? Because
Yeah.
Thor Love and Thunder is the last film of that phase in like the October or whenever it is, August or something. And then, yeah, like you have a film slate that's going to be empty for 15 months, but you've already announced other projects that you're going to be putting on after this stuff is done, which is, again, Moon Knight, She-Hulk, and Miss Marvel. It would only make sense to put those shows in to fill the gap.
Yeah.
But yeah, I know. Surely one of those has to be Blade.
Probably.
You would think.
It wouldn't surprise me actually if it was the October film for Halloween.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe Blade kicks off Phase 5. February 17th will probably be Black Panther. May could be X-Men. Give X-Men the Avengers slot, dude.
I don't know.
Or even Fantastic Four. Give Fantastic Four the Avengers slot, because that May date now is huge. That's the money release date. Guardians 2, all the Avengers movies, Civil War, all the Iron Man movies have come out on that date. Like,
Maybe.
yeah, that could probably be X-Men or Fantastic Four.
Well, that's the news done.
All right, I got a couple of little bits I just want to chuck in the end there. There's, for anybody that's been floating around on Twitter the last few weeks, the amount of noise being made for the Snyder Cut of Justice League has just reached thundering proportions. And then just recently, the last day or two, you had Gal Gadot and, for the first time, Snyder himself actually sharing the hashtag. And pretty much all the cast now, except for Henry Cavill, are us behind this whole release, the Snyder Cut.
Yeah, Affleck dropped it.
Even Affleck. Now
Yeah.
his post was pretty brief. It was pretty much just the hashtag, I think. But point is, everybody is pretty much on board with this now. There's a lot of mounting pressure on Warner Brothers. Momoa shared an image from the cut that looked quite interesting.
Yeah, very, very, very spoilery.
Yeah, so I wasn't going to mention it, but yeah, so that's kind of interesting. It's been a couple of years now, and it doesn't look like this movement's going anywhere. So it's going to be interesting to see.
Well, it's the 2-year anniversary right now as well.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That's why they're sort of revving it up. So it's going to be really interesting to see if Warner Brothers bow to this. And there's been some talk that maybe they'll move it on to like a streaming service.
Yeah, that honestly, that could be the centerpiece of HBO Max.
Yeah,
like the Snyder cut of Justice League.
Exactly.
But in saying that though, like we previously have talked about it, like Jason Momoa said that like the CGI was like maybe 80% done, but like the stuff that hadn't been done, like they watched it in the pre-render, and he knew what was fully going on, like it was being explained to him and stuff. So it sounds like the majority of the film is complete.
Yeah, it's probably going to need a little bit of CGI work to finish things up, and then away we go. Yeah, no more stupid mustache on Cavill because you won't need it.
Yeah, that scene won't exist.
Because his stuff was all filmed before that.
Just talking about that, Ryan Reynolds put up a video on his Instagram of him having a sip of his aviation gin that he owns. Yeah. And his caption was, he says, and he mentioned something about being a superhero or drinking it, and he lifts the cup up, takes a drink, and pulls it down, and he has his moustache has been CGI'd out.
Yeah.
And in the comments, Henry Cavill says, "Can't CGI the pain away, make mine a double."
I wonder too how much longer. I mean, commercial television is going to exist for, because I mean, outside of sports, how many people are actually watching free-to-air television these days?
Yeah, everyone waits for it to go to Netflix or to go to wherever so they can binge it later.
I still watch some normal TV, like with Bachelor and stuff like that.
Like, jokes aside, I think the older generation, like I know certainly my mother and that kind of, the boomers, for lack of a better word, but the grandmother RF ports in the lounge room. We're going to be relying on high-speed internet.
Yeah, but that's it. Like, it's come down to a matter that
$3 a month, you'd probably find that people that enjoy Australian content would stay on it at that price. But whether that means it's sustainable, I don't know.
Well, saying that though, like they also have a deal.
This weekend only, you can pay us $10 and have access to Netflix for the weekend, and we won't bill you again after that. It's just you buy in for the weekend so you can binge.
I think if anything, that would alienate.
Okay.
Because why would you do that when if you're gonna have to
plus that I don't want to watch? I'm not interested in a monthly subscription. But let's just say, for instance, I've got some mates coming in from out of state, and they want to.
And a lot of that is like hey, here's reruns of The Bachelor, and a lot of like the stuff that they produce in house. 10 also has like another thing that has 10 have 2 streaming platforms. So one's 10 Play, and I can't remember what the second one is, but it's a paid service where you can get stuff like the rebooted MacGyver and episode or 2 for free to bait you. And guess what? You're going to take the hook and you're going to pay for it. YouTube have seemed pretty successful with it. Whether it's a